Obey NWO.
Welcome everyone to the Nerd World Order podcast. This is Abel Oz, and joining me as always are my co-host and co-conspirator CJ.
Hello.
Barker.
Hello.
And our nerd eye in the sky, Whitney.
Dustin did that so everyone could see him do that.
This is a podcast, Barker.
I did it as hard as I could so people could hear it.
The NWO is where we're trying to take over the world by spreading the weekly pop culture news from across different genres, which include movies, comics, TV shows, or anything that we consider nerd. The Nerd World Order podcast, our greatest in poopertainment since 2017. All right, we need to give a name to our listeners. What should we call them?
The subjects, obviously.
The peons?
The student athletes.
I like
whenever we played D&D, I was an evil Sith Lord, and I didn't have an army of slaves. I had an army of student athletes. It was pretty awesome.
All right, actually, let's use that. All right, student athletes. We're at show 119. How's everybody doing?
Fantastic.
Doing good, yeah.
Everybody's getting through the pandemic.
I mean, I guess I'm not dead yet. So.
Yeah, not dead yet.
As far as we know, no coronavirus.
No.
I can't tell. So probably.
Yeah, same.
I don't know.
I've had a sore throat for like 2 weeks, and then I'm like, is that the coronavirus? But I don't have a fever at all, so I'm like, it's probably not the coronavirus. But like the anxiety,
it could be.
Yeah, but then your anxiety's like, well, what if I give this to my mom? You know what I mean? That kind of shit. Yeah, so it's.
CJ has everything, so he doesn't even know if he has it or not.
Actually, the coronavirus cured his
it probably will. Like, that's the cure for everything else.
His syphilis.
He's got like an orange, like big toe.
You know what? Fair trade, because I feel pretty good. So
yeah.
Nice.
I'm happy. It no longer burns on me.
Whitney says he's alive and bored as usual. He also says we don't have tests, so who fucking knows? The virus already mutated and spread. So those are all optimistic points. Is anybody else drinking anything for the show today? With it being Cinco de Mayo?
I am, actually.
Whitney, I saw he's drinking Negra Modelo, the black lager version of Modelo, and I really like that. CJ's drinking the Bud Light Chelada.
With extra lime.
With extra lime. Barker, you drinking anything?
Drinking an Ultra.
That's very in the spirit of things.
A lot of extra people do drink Ultra. I'll give them that.
This is true. Actually, if you wanted to go that route, you should have had Bud Light.
I don't know. I think a lot more people are drinking Ultra than Bud Light.
No, Bud Light is the official beer of Mexicans. Like, it really is.
It's official. Dusty, I always make fun of him because I say he's the most Mexican person I've ever met, even though he's white. He's a mechanic. He knows how to cook carne asada, and all he drinks is Bud Light. Like, that's all he drinks.
That is terrible beer, though. Like, it's
not great. It's not great. Yeah, I remember they were going through this. They were going through this whole advertisement, like promotion thing, where they're not using high fructose corn syrup. There we go. And everybody was like, it still tastes like shit, so you might as well just add it back on there.
Can you please say that again?
I can't. High fructose corn syrup. There we go. I said it.
It's like halfway through, you were like having a stroke.
You haven't been to a Mexican
Somebody
party.
have like a car battery to your nipples halfway through.
We didn't have any questions.
Budweiser is also prevalent sometimes.
What is Budweiser? Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Yeah.
We didn't have any questions of the show last week, so we'll move on. This isn't joining us to show because he actually is studying for finals, but the one thing he did set out as a priority this week was to give me the hottest piece of anime news in this week's The Andres Loza Memorial Anime Minute. A certain scientific railgun was one of the first significant anime productions impacted by the spread of the novel coronavirus after delaying the broadcast of its 7th episode following complications from its outsourced work in China. The series had returned following the delay for a few weeks before episode 13 was delayed last month due to the state of emergency declared in Japan. The series then made its triumphant return for this major episode, but unfortunately, the series will be going on hiatus once more, as a certain scientific railgun T confirmed episode 14 will be postponed. So those fans of a certain scientific railgun T, your show's going to be delayed. I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you.
You know why it's gonna get delayed?
Wow.
Fucking murder hornets.
No, they're coming over here. They're leaving Japan. They're coming over here.
They're probably going to both places.
I don't care. Murder fucking hornet, like that's like the coolest metal band name ever. Murder Hornets. I mean, but it's Murder Hornets. Like,
doesn't Murder Hornets sound like a badass metal band name?
Yeah, that's what you just said.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Good job.
gotta catch up, Babel. Catch up.
Japan is. Whitney says Japan is used to murder hornets. They've been there for millions of years. Don't jog by the mountains, he says. So I won't.
I don't think they actually murder people, do they? They just murder bees.
From what I've read, it's multiple stings from these motherfuckers can't kill somebody, but 50 a year in Japan. So I mean, it's
there was one guy that he's like on like a Discovery Channel thing, and he got like stung by one right here on his forearm, and like it was like a goose egg like on his like arm, like just from one sting. So
Whitney,
man, fuck a wasp. I'll murder a wasp.
The venom melts human skin. That sounds like a fucking alien.
I mean, I could pop in now if you were going to talk the animal thing.
Yeah, and we're going. Do you have any more?
On that, I mean, the first time I actually heard about him, do you know the Oatmeal, the comic writer?
Yeah.
So back in when I was running like 5 or 6 years ago, it turns out that author is a marathon runner, and he has this hilarious comic that's for runners about all the scary things. And there's like this section about his time where he decided to run in Japan, which is why I've said don't jog by the mountains, because he was warned not to do that. And then he's like, oh, it's just a hornet, not a big deal. Then like 15 of them started chasing his ass, and he's like, Jesus Christ! In the comic, of course, it's fucking hilarious.
That's funny.
But yeah, that's when I first learned about those guys. And then when I just saw that they're here, and I'm like, God damn it, who did that?
Are they on? I haven't read it specifically. Are they coming through on the West Coast? Because that's obviously.
Yeah, they are in the state of Washington right now. They've been confirmed there. I don't think they're going to hit here because they tend to like it cooler and a little wetter, which is why they're doing well in Washington. But just like any other insect that has no predator to fucking worry about, like the killer bees and fire ants, are both non-natives. They slowly creep the territory. So, and also. Well, yeah, climate change, who knows how that's going to affect that. But yeah.
Jeez. Washington's been getting it hard lately.
Yeah, they have. I have a friend up in Tacoma, and they're definitely hard with the Rona. They're hard on Rona.
Hard on Rona, and now murder wasps or bees or
murder hornets.
Hornets.
Do you know what? Do you know how they kill bees?
No.
They take their mandibles, they behead them, and then carry the corpse to lay their eggs on them so that the babies can feed off the corpses. And 50 murder hornets can lay waste to a 3,000. I think CJ posted the video of it. Like 50 of them can take out 3,000 bees in like a few hours.
30.
Yeah.
30,000.
30,000? Jesus. Yeah.
That sounds metal as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Rips the head off, lays fucking eggs in the corpse.
It's more
and then when the babies are born, they're eating the corpse of a dead enemy.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You know why they did it in the first place?
Why?
To eat the baby larva corpses of the bees.
Yeah, well, that's what they do, but they also lay their eggs on the bee corpses, and then their babies eat and then the adults eat the larva, and it's just they just fucking wreck.
Yeah.
Hives. But it's not just like they rip the head off. Their mandibles are basically two guillotines that just pop.
Let them eat cake.
Oh. Yes, exactly. Let them eat cake.
Damn, that's scary. All right, well, that
like
is.
I feel like next month we're just gonna have sodomy geeses, and we're just.
Hey, I'm the one who posted that meme.
Slowly downhill. Right?
I posted that somewhere, and then somebody's like, Whitney, tell me that this animal doesn't exist. And I'm like, those don't exist, but there is a fish that goes up your pee hole.
Yeah, I've read about that fish. It's
will be here next.
Amazon, right?
Yeah, that'll be here. That's in the Amazon. But if with the way we're going, that'll be here next month. Going up people's pee holes.
Speaking of that, actually, I have a quick story on that. So one of our friends that was in the Navy, he was stationed in Japan,
and he was way into sounding. Oh wait, never mind.
So one of his buddies on the ship, they go out and they're having fun in Japan and everything. That his buddy picks up like a Thai hooker, takes her back to the hotel room and everything. That she proceeds to give the gentleman fellatio and everything. That a week later, he's talking about how like the gentleman really hurt and everything. That all that goes to the doctor.
It
doctor
sounds classy as fellatio.
Doctor tells him like, I don't know what's wrong and everything that. So they start doing everything. They do an X-ray. He has snake eggs in his urethra.
Yeah. So sounding.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So
sounding is the technique where you start stretching out your urethra to start shoving shit in there.
No, she like was eating snake eggs and like got into his urethra when she performed said act on him.
Snake eggs are fucking huge though. Like, they're fucking like 2 inches long and like an inch wide.
I don't know, man. This is a story I heard, and it's
spider eggs I can see, but
this is the story of the guy who had snakes growing in his pipe. Literally,
I just saw a snake get pulled out of an egg get pulled out of a snake like half hour, 45 minutes ago. I get some weird
Jesus Christ, dude.
phone calls. Anyway.
All right. Well, that was Whitney, and we're gonna bring back this this segment actually, and that's Whitney's Animal Fact of the Week. So obviously, because the murder hornets are in the news, he filled us in on murder hornets, and thank God they probably will reach Kansas. But if you're in the West Coast, just by a lot of off and fly swatters and shit.
You guys want to hear something really fucked up? Actually,
what's that?
There's a species of ant that crawls up to all your whole body, and they're like really small, and you don't notice them. But they release a pheromone that makes them all bite down at once, and there's like 1,000 of them on you. That's crazy. I don't know anything about it, but that's wild as hell.
All right, Whitney, that'll be your animal fact for next week.
Oh, I got plenty to say about fire ants. My almost killed my dog.
Let's save it. I just wanted to. That's just badass.
Oh,
Abel.
My camera went out. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
No.
I can hear you.
That's a joke.
Yeah, I know. I don't know my USB thing isn't working for my camera, but I'm still here. Okay. Well, anyways, we'll jump into the news real quick. Huh?
I said you're just hiding, jerking it.
Yep.
You too?
To murder hornet porn. There's already thing on Pornhub. Let's see. This weekend. So first piece of news that I have real quick is they're actually officially changing up the way the DC movies or how the way they look now. They're going to change the style from the anime style to something more Western like. And I was going to share it on the Zoom screen, but I can't right now because you can't see it. But I don't have access to it. But it looks like, remember when they redid Johnny, what the fuck's his name? Johnny Quest, that kind of animation style. Yeah, that's kind of what that looks like. I wish I could show you guys so you guys can have. Actually, I'm gonna take a picture and send it to you guys through the messenger because my computer's fucked.
Just fix your camera.
It's the USB thing.
Fix your USB thing.
You can share the video through Zoom, by the way.
No, I know. It's just I bought this cheap ass thing at Walmart for it's a 4-port USB hub, and it comes in and out, so it's not working.
Oh well, I'm just saying, if it's on your computer,
Walmart,
just share that video. That's what I'm saying.
Here we go. I'm gonna try it again. Okay.
There goes our Walmart sponsorship table.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Dick.
Oh, $56.78 of sponsorship.
Here we go.
Yeah,
Can you guys see
cheap
it?
bastard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty lame.
What do you guys think?
That sucks.
Yeah, I'd rather it go back to the anime stuff.
Wait, so they're gonna keep making animated movies? I thought they were done.
Well, no, they're done with the continuity, but they're done. Yeah, they're done with the continuity, but they're not making movies. This next movie is called Superman: Man of Tomorrow, and it's supposed to be released either late this year or early next year. And it's TBD whether or not that's going to be part of the part of a new continuity or not.
Yeah, that looks terrible.
You don't
Yeah.
like it?
No,
I don't like it either.
no one
Do you-
likes it. Do you like it?
Not really. That's the first thing I thought of was like his Johnny Quest looking ass. Whitney says,
Looks like-
so DC is choosing to do the animation what they did with the live action. Got it. Whitney hated it too, so
I like the animation they do now.
I do too actually. So
I like it too.
all right,
Who's that?
well, we all hated it, so we'll move on. Let's see. Honestly, when Disney this next piece of news, when Disney started this whole live action remake of all the classic movies, there was 2 movies I wanted. They've done one. I didn't like it, so hopefully they can come back with this one. It's The Lion King. I didn't like it. With this one though, honestly, I think this one can hold up as a live action movie. You guys have probably heard the rumors, but they are going to make Hercules now into a live action movie. So what are you guys' initial thoughts on that?
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
No.
I
Why?
agree with you, Abel. I don't think they'll be able to do it live action.
Oh, God.
What the fuck?
Sorry, I just ripped off a Band-Aid. Ow, that hurt a lot. Okay,
It
sorry.
sounded like you were like fighting a ninja.
Sorry. Hey, Abel's back.
So wait, I think it can work out. You don't think so, Barker?
I don't know. The last Hercules they didn't really do too
That
great.
wasn't Disney though.
Well, no, I understand that, but I mean, just from like the Disney one was really cool, and it had like a lot of stuff that I don't think you can translate to live action.
Huh?
Although do keep Danny DeVito as Pan.
Yeah, he needs to stay as Phil. He was trending on Twitter the other day because when the news was released that they're going to remake Hercules into a live action movie, everybody was like, "It's Danny DeVito or we riot," and I agree with that.
Because he looks just like the character. I mean,
Or even if they
Well,
like
like, you know.
CGI it, as long as he does the voice.
Yeah.
you know, he dusts
His little
off
fat ass can't get up and down like he used to. You kidding me? He's like
gotta dust
70.
off the Tim Burton hat, you know. Get the Tim Burton hat nice
Well,
and
Is
you
Tim
know.
Burton better not direct it? But you know who is producing it? The Russo brothers.
Nice.
No, the director is going to be God damn it, Jon Favreau. Jon Favreau.
Officially?
Yeah.
No, I don't believe you with your news, CJ. You know why? You led me to believe that was a Mandalorian trailer. It was totally fake. It was an April Fool's thing.
It wasn't April Fool's.
It wasn't real. I watched it and it had more dislikes than likes because IGN, which is a pretty reputable news source, they did a prank on everybody because it was just Yoda as a teenager smoking pot and talking about
That's awesome. Well, I told you I didn't watch it.
Good job there, Fox News.
Nah, fuck it. Okay, I don't want them to do this live action. I don't want them to do any live actions, to be honest. But Hercules holds a special place for me. I love
do
that
too.
movie.
Besides
fuck it up.
Besides Lion King, I think it's my favorite Disney animated movie.
I could actually go Aladdin there, probably. But Hercules is in my top 3. And they're going to fuck it up. I know they are. They fucked up. Aladdin's terrible. I saw at least most of it.
Yeah.
It's awful. The Lion King, I can just assume, is awful.
It was very good.
Yeah, you're fucking with just make some new shit. Stop being goddamn lazy. Write something new. Like, did you know they came up with all the Pixar movies on like one day?
That sounds
Not all of
about
them,
right.
like half of them. Like, dude, take more than a lunch meeting. Come up with some fucking ideas. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
They just have like the Wheel of Fortune, like which one are we doing live action today?
Yeah, that's what it feels like. They're all just going to be made into live action. I'm annoyed by that. That annoys me. It's a lack of creativity, and they're the ones buying up every damn thing. Why are you buying all this crap if you're not going to do anything with it?
Exactly, they're buying everything just to make it nothing with it. Exactly. I mean, it's not
like you're a creative force. Like if it was like the Marvel team buying up, well, I mean, you can't even really say that actually because they're all based on comics. But my point is, I would like some new content. That's just me.
There was a report that said Disney was going to buy WWE, which in case would mean that Triple H would be a Disney princess.
No, actually, right now I was reading something that WWE right now is being pursued by ESPN and Fox, where they're at right now for Sunday Night SmackDown or Friday Night SmackDown, I think. So if WWE then gets the broadcasting rights over to ESPN, technically Disney would own the broadcasting rights to WWE, which is fucking nuts.
Yeah, that's too much, man. You have too much power.
Oh, I also want Stone Cold and The Rock. Oh.
Mickey Mouse was a Stone Cold Stunner. The Stone Cold Stunner, Mickey Mouse. Oh my God, it's a slobber knocker. It's a slobber knocker.
Oh my God, is that Goofy? That's Goofy coming down the road. That's his music.
Coming down over.
So not even the Russo brothers give you hope in producing a good Hercules movie?
Dude, in Russo brothers we trust.
I do.
Yeah, I'm over it.
Did you guys see that movie that they made with Chadwick Boseman? What was it, 12 Bridges or something like that? 21 Bridges?
Yeah.
No.
21 Bridges.
I didn't watch it. Did you?
I didn't watch it.
Have you seen
if it's good or not.
Have you seen that guy lately?
Yeah, he looks skinny as fuck, like he's sick.
Well, he's walking with a cane, but it's like a martial arts cane.
So hopefully it's for a role then.
Yeah, they say it's like a role of like a black martial artist from back in the day. I couldn't remember. I read the thing about it because they said like he's like walking with it, like kind of with a limp, and you see how skinny he is and like how frail he's kind of looking. But then they said they watched him like kind of like use it kind of like as a staff, and like doing martial arts moves, and so they're thinking that he's doing it for a role.
I hope so. I think we all probably hope so.
Yeah. Hopefully he's healthy. Let's see. The main topics. Taika Waititi is officially confirmed to, or in talks, I should say, to direct a Star Wars movie. So that's fucking dope. Honestly, after Thor Ragnarok, give that man anything because I think he can make it work.
Oh, and Jojo Rabbit.
And I haven't seen Jojo Rabbit, but I heard it's really good.
Fucking awesome movie. Please watch.
Usually I'm on top of the Oscar movies. I'm kind of behind this year. I haven't seen that one. Ford versus Ferrari. There's I think one more, but yeah, I haven't seen those.
It's kind of easy to get behind on movies right about
now. Yeah. Oh, I also do have a piece of news too.
Oh, okay. Tell me what's up, Barker.
Okay, so this is more rumor than it is fact, but I think CJ's gonna like it. So this is coming from the people that correctly predicted that Anso Tano is going to be in The Mandalorian. Is that her name?
Oh, Ahsoka.
Yeah. They also predicted correctly that Extraction was going to have a sequel. And
is it?
Yes.
Have you guys seen that?
Wait,
I
couldn't hear you. What?
Extraction.
What about it?
Have you seen it?
No, I'm going to tonight. Actually,
it's good. I watched about half of it. It's pretty good. They're calling Chris Hemsworth's Jesus Christ, Thor. They're calling his character in Extraction John Prick because he's just like John Wick but a huge dick. So they calling him John Prick.
That sounds awesome. That sounds like my kind of movie.
It's pretty good. I watched the first half.
So the same people that correctly predicted all these have just heard word that they're going to reboot the Inhumans again, and
Boo.
they are they're talking to director Michael Bay to helm it.
Ah, boo! Double boo.
Why are you booing?
I know you'd like that, CJ.
Michael Bay is a good director.
Because the
He's all
Inhumans suck. They're just X-Men light, and Michael Bay stinks as a director.
Nah, he's exciting.
You know what the best Bad Boys movie was? The third one, the one he didn't direct. Just saying.
But that was the worst one. No, the second one was by far like way better, like
No.
by a lot.
Whitney
No.
says I agree with Abel 100%, which is
That just means you're both wrong. I don't.
no. Have you seen the third one?
I guess it's not nearly as good as the second one
It's better
by
than
a
the second
lot, actually.
I wanted to put that in there because I know CJ liked Michael Bay, and I feel like the Inhumans got a bad rap. So we'll see what he can do.
No, not even just the Inhumans TV series. Just the Inhumans in general annoy me because they're X-Men light. Just do the X-Men.
They're already going to do the X-Men.
I'm tired of the X-Men.
Leave it there. Well, I'm tired of Michael Bay, and I'm tired of you, CJ.
I mean, I don't blame you. It's not that I love Michael Bay; it's that he makes my kind of movie. Shit blows up, and it's pretty cool. Like I like it.
Have you ever watched that Family Guy where they make fun of Michael Bay movies?
No.
Okay. Try to watch that episode one of these days because they get it like on point.
Nobody watches Family Guy anymore, Dustin. I'm sorry. You know why? Ask me why.
Why?
Because it sucks now. It does suck now. I'm not wrong.
I to be honest with you, I haven't seen Family Guy in like 10 years.
Yeah. Michael Bay is better than Family Guy. Let's just say that across the board.
Poll question: is Michael Bay better than Family Guy?
Thank you.
And also, Whitney says, every time I watch a Bay movie, I end it realizing I wasted a chunk of my life. That's a fucking hot take.
Did Michael Bay direct Hobbs and Shaw?
No.
No, damn it. Okay.
No, the Hobbs and Shaw was good.
Fuck yeah. Oh, okay. All right. He's done a couple good movies.
The Rock's pretty good. He directed that.
He directed the first Transformers.
I like the first Transformers.
Yeah, everyone likes first Transformers. This is really good. Hold on. You know what? You guys keep talking. I'm going to look up the list of Michael Bay movies.
Okay. Well, while CJ's doing that, and Whitney says, then he ruined the rest of the Transformers. I get why people don't like Transformers 2, but I like Transformers 2.
He did Pain and Gain, which you're all about.
I love Pain and Gain.
I hate that movie, but yeah, you like it for some reason.
Jeez, we completely go 180 on that, huh?
That's weird, huh? The Island. Have you guys ever seen The Island?
With
That movie's
DiCaprio?
badass. Huh?
With DiCaprio?
No, it has
That's good, right?
it's Ewan McGregor, and it's like okay, so there's a bunch of people, and they're in this like supposedly post-apocalyptic like bunker, and they're told they can't go outside or anything, and it's because they are clones that are insurance policies.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but I have heard of it. Yeah.
That's a badass movie. That's a really good movie. Bad Boys 2, obviously, fucking awesome. Armageddon, which has its problems, but it's a good movie. Pearl Harbor, do you like Pearl Harbor? Michael Bay.
Pearl Harbor was cool whenever it came out when I was like 13. Now it's really bad.
Do you like The Purge?
The first one?
All of them.
He didn't direct them.
That's your boy.
He didn't direct The Purge.
It says he directed it. Oh.
Yeah. He might have produced it.
Oh, maybe he's just a producer. Okay, he's a producer.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think he did The Purges.
Okay. I actually hate The Purge, so whatever. My point is he's not as bad as you think. And that was my original point. It's not even that I love Michael Bay. It's that I think he's got an unfair bad rap. He's not as bad as people think.
No, he's pretty bad. Whitney says Island was meh, and then damn it, Fox News. Alrighty. Before we get into
Okay.
our main topic, we do have some Florida news. Florida man living in abandoned Disney park says it's a paradise. Florida resident Richard McGuire was found quarantining at the abandoned Disney park, Discovery Island, which he describes as, quote, a tropical paradise. There you go.
Oh, he did that Texas Chainsaw Massacre reboot. That movie's awesome.
I do like
That's a
that movie.
badass movie.
You know what's the best horror movie reboot?
Yes.
Is Evil Dead.
Evil Dead. Yeah, I was just talking about
Yeah.
that movie like a couple weeks
I
ago.
fucking love that movie.
Yeah, it's amazing. I tried to find it. You can't stream it anywhere.
No, it'll be prevalent during Halloween time because I always watch that movie around Halloween.
Where? How?
It's either on like Hulu or something like that, or I remember I paid the $2.99 on YouTube to rent it. So
I might have to. I want to watch it again.
it's a good movie. I really enjoy it.
Fuck yeah! I watched it kind of inebriated. Made it way better, but it was still pretty good.
Nice.
Made it way fucking scarier, actually.
Yeah, dude. That movie has some legit scares in it for sure.
Yeah, it really does.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, CJ.
Yeah,
Do you love the NWO?
yeah,
Do you like supporting things you love by giving them an amount of money so small that you wouldn't notice or feel leaving your bank account?
yeah,
Then you'd be perfect to donate to the NWO cause, which will help us create more content and become a better podcast. Is that something you like to do?
yeah.
Then visit us on patreon.com/NoRuledOrder and give us a monthly donation to help us out. Or if you want, give us a one-time donation. Please go to our PayPal at nerdworldorder2@gmail.com.
Yeah?
Yeah, and remember folks, obey the NWO.
Yeah.
All right, our first part of the main event is we are continuing our adventure through the DC animated movie universe. Basically, what we decided to do this is the movie that's coming out, I think this month actually, is Justice League Apocalypse War, and that is the last movie in this current continuity that they have for the DC movie. So CJ and I had an idea a long time ago to watch each movie and kind of talk about it, but we kind of fell through with that. And now that this is happening, we thought it'd be a good time now that we have a few of us that we can talk about it and stuff. So this week, the next movie in order is Son of Batman, directed by Ethan Spalding, who also directed Throne of Atlantis, which we watched last week. Obviously, it's from DC Comics. It's adopted from the Grant Morrison, Andy Kubert 2006 Batman storyline, which ran from Batman 655 to Batman 658, which came out in September through December 2006. The initial release for the movie was 2014, specifically April 22nd digitally, and then May 6th physically. This is the fourth movie that came out, but it is the third movie chronologically out of 15. This movie starring Jason Momoa as Batman, Stuart Allen as Damian Wayne, Thomas Gibson as Slade Wilson Deathstroke, Morena Baccarin, who was in Deadpool. She was Talia al Ghul. And the other one of note is Giancarlo Esposito, who is from Breaking Bad and all that stuff. He played Ra's al Ghul.
Wasn't he the bad guy at the end of The Mandalorian too?
He was in The Mandalorian. You're absolutely right. This is actually the second highest DC animated movie universe movie at $6 million. It's still going pretty strong, so it's made quite a bit of money. So CJ, now that I kind of gave the specs on it, what is the general synopsis of Son of Batman?
Go fuck yourself if you haven't seen the movie. You son of a bitch.
Oh, shit. So I didn't expect this or prepare for it. Sorry.
Which makes it so much better.
Yes.
Fuck. So Batman had a son.
I would have known that.
Yeah, it's pretty. No, what happens? Okay, so there's a bunch of ninjas. Some ninjas come and fight them with guns, which is very un-ninja-like, by the way. And then that guy dies, the old one. They go to Gotham, and Batman's son's a little bastard. Keeps like doing a bunch of things that Batman doesn't like. He's also a little badass, so he does a bunch of cool stuff. And then Nightwing saves the day.
Is that how you would describe that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Baby
And so hijinks ensue.
There you go. So yes, this movie is about Batman. I don't know why I said it like that. I'm from fucking Minnesota, and I said it like. But Batman finds out he has a son that he has,
Batman.
that he doesn't know anything about. Talia al Ghul actually date raped
It sounds
him.
like raping.
It was a date rape. It was a date rape.
That's what it sounds like.
And yeah, used it for his seed, and now has a son that you found out about. How old is he? Did they ever say how old is he in the movie? Like 10 years old.
If you're gonna date rape somebody, like
Batman, right? Yeah. So yeah, and then that's kind of where the movie picks up, and the movie, spoiler warning, ends with Robin, or excuse me, with Damian becoming the new Robin, which I guess I'll get into my dislikes here in a little bit. But what is your general thoughts on the movie as a whole?
I like it. I think it's a good movie. I think it's really well done, actually. I think it's, again, very efficient, while not cutting out too much, which I think is a good. When the DC animated movies get that right, it's excellent. That perfect ratio, which they've now hit with War and I think this movie. And I love it when they do that.
You're absolutely right. This movie is only an hour 14, but right off the bat, it starts off with that ninja fight with Deathstroke's ninjas and Ra's al Ghul ninjas, and yeah, it's just real quick. So Whitney says he also.
Like a lesser movie, you get 20 minutes of the Ra's al Ghul training Slade, building up that whole backstory, but they just hit you with it throughout the movie. I love that so much.
Same, I agree. Whitney says he fucking loved the movie. He also said that he liked the Evil Dead. I watched this movie, pretty fucking good. Barker, what do you think?
I'm on the fence on this movie. I'm more 51. I liked it. 49. I didn't. To me, there's a lot more things I liked than I didn't like about the movie. And I'll get into that when we start kind of dissecting it.
Okay. Generally, my overall thoughts is I really liked it as well. And I'm glad, for a lot of reasons, I'm glad we're doing this rewatching of all the movies because it's been years since I've watched this movie. And I go back and watch some, like Throne of Atlantis, and I don't like it as much as I remember. And then watching Son of Batman, I actually liked it more than I remember. So it's a good balance that we're doing this thing. So what's one thing specifically that I guess we'll start with you, Barker, because you kind of have the most beef with it. What's one thing in specific that you like about it?
I actually like Damian on this one. I know a lot of people don't like him because he's kind of annoying and kind of a brat and everything like that, but he kind of gets to do that because he's a fucking badass. For like 10 years old, he's like a master fucking ninja, and he hacked into NORAD when he was 6 or 4, if I remember right. Like, you get to be a fucking asshole when you have like the knowledge and the characteristics like that. I also like too that when at the beginning, it wasn't kind of like a Damian, this is Bruce Wayne, like he's gonna be your dad. No, she was just like, your dad's Batman, so have fun with that. And they didn't do like an 80s, like an 80s montage where they're like baking cookies and everything like that and playing like football out in the front yard. He's just like, you're gonna fucking fight with me. You're Robin, so take it easy, It's like, but don't kill anybody and stop being a dick. I kind of like that, Like they didn't try to like delve too much into like the parent thing. They're just like, hey, you got a kid, but you can still be Batman and you can really do whatever you want with this dickbag. Take it easy. Like, that's what I liked about it.
CJ, what about you? What's one thing you liked?
This is gonna sound weird that it stuck out to me like this, but I really love the Batmobile.
The Batmobile's dope in it, though. No, I know. I have a note of it. I really like the Batmobile in this.
Yeah, the Batmobile in this movie is bad fucking ass. Like, it's really cool. I don't know, like, it just hit me weirdly when the first time he opens the door of it, like, oh shit, that looks really cool.
Has like a sliding glass top to it. It's very reminiscent of the 1960s Batmobile kind of.
With the red. Oh,
yeah,
so badass.
Yeah,
that's really cool. Anyway, there's a lot to like about this movie. And that argument, I love that argument. Like he does get to be a little bastard. Like people always say they don't like Kanye because he's arrogant and a douche. Okay, when you're the greatest of all fucking time, you get to be an arrogant douche. Okay.
Yeah.
If you were Kanye, you would act just the same fucking way.
Oh, deaf.
Everyone would.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, I have this theory that Kanye actually is he might have Asperger's or something like that. Like legit, like not making fun. But I honestly do think that he has some sort of mental disability like that, because like with the cockiness, I don't think he knows how to work in social worlds or whatever you want, settings. Yeah. So yeah, that's a whole different thing. But yes, I agree. If I was a LeBron, if I was a Kanye, if I was whoever.
LeBron's actually the best of us because he could do that and he doesn't.
He built a fucking school instead of just like rubbing his balls on everybody. You know what I mean?
And he gives a kid free tuition to fucking Akron University. Like
Kanye just rubs his balls on everyone, but you get to do that when you're Kanye. Okay, like, but that's that's Dustin's argument. It's a great one. When you're Damian Wayne. Is he one
of the Wayne's brothers?
Totally different movie. Way different movie. But when you're Damian Wayne, yeah, you got to do cool shit like that. Like, and he's a badass. Like, he's a legitimate badass.
Yeah, he is. He got stabbed through the fucking arm and still like defeated Deathstroke. Basically,
he did not give a fuck.
No.
Whitney says Damian's character is perfect for the life he has led. A kid with too much power. Kanye's issue is too much drugs. Kanye's behavior has drastically changed over the decades, and he can talking about Damon and maybe Kanye, he can beat Nightwing's ass.
Except that he can't because he didn't. But okay. Yeah, nice try.
I mean, as a 10-year-old, he almost kicked his ass.
But he didn't. So
okay, all right. Just
and he had a sword. A 10-year-old with a katana could kick your ass if you didn't have one.
A 10-year-old? No, I take a running start and kick him in the fucking head.
He already stabbed you with his katana. It's a katana.
I'm taking him down with me. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Kicking him as hard as I fucking can in the head. You kidding me?
I want to see that. Just this 10-year-old with a katana and Abel just fast run as fast as he can and just like try to kick him in the face.
Poll question, who would win in a fight? A 10-year-old with a katana or Abel running at full speed, kicking him in the head? Just saying.
I got my money on the katana kid.
Fuck both of you.
Katana, yeah. Sorry, baby. That's how that works.
He's just gonna stab you in your sack when you like.
He's just gonna stab you. Yeah. He has a katana. By the way, Nightwing beats that kid's ass. That's all I'm saying. Whatever.
What if I Eurostep the kid?
You won't.
I can.
I've seen your skills. You won't.
I can Eurostep.
You can't Eurostep.
You're like the poor man's Jeremy Lin.
This must be
Jeremy
really
Lin's good though.
He's playing in China now. He can't be that good.
Yao Ming played in China.
To start, not to end.
Still. Anyway.
Anybody that's ever played in the NBA is really good. Anyways, why do we always go on these tangents? Let's see. I'm not sure who won, but somehow Nightwing loses. Above comment is regarding Abel and a 10-year-old. So I guess Nightwing loses between me and a 10-year-old.
Okay.
Okay, so my thing that I specifically like in this is, although he's very his appearance is short, I do like Ra's al Ghul. I've always liked him as a villain, and just the little cameo, basically what you want to call it, at the very beginning of the movie. I really enjoyed that, and I enjoyed it and I enjoy the fact that his appearance is so strong that you don't need it throughout the. You need Damian to have a reason to give a fuck, and they used Ra's al Ghul as that. So I like that, and would I like to see more Ra's al Ghul? Absolutely, but I think the way they used him and his purpose is overall better than if they would have just thrown him back into the story, especially because he is the user of the Lazarus pits and stuff. So I'm glad they used him in an appropriate manner.
It felt weird to me though because like Talia didn't even try. It gave me a huge like Talia totally set them up vibe for like a while.
No, but there's rules to the Lazarus pit. Like, it makes sense. It's not going to repair a charred body like that. Anybody that's ever been in the Lazarus pit is usually like, they died from a stab wound or something like that, which isn't too hard to recover. That dude was burned to a fucking crisp.
Well, I understand, but that she didn't even try, and then she got over it really quickly. It just gave me huge Talia's the real villain vibes. But she obviously wasn't.
I mean, she was raised like that. You're not supposed to have that emotion and everything.
I was about to say that she was raised in a ninja way, man. Like, it's next man up.
No, it makes sense after they dissect it. But what I'm telling you is for like the 10 minutes right there, I'm totally thinking, oh shit, it's her.
But, like she's the spy or whatever.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Okay.
All right, CJ, since you're on the opposite side of it, what is one thing you didn't like about it?
Okay, so it's actually been bothering me for about 3 movies now. It never bothered me this much. And the reason for that is this is the first Batman movie. I don't like Batman's voice.
That was actually one of my questions, so you can bring it up here. So you're not a big fan of Jason O'Mara as Batman?
No, I don't like it.
Why specifically?
He's not good enough. It's nothing against the guy.
Obviously, it is.
He could be nice. He could be a great dude. I don't know. But his voice, it just doesn't match, does it? Like,
I think it does.
I like it. I mean, I don't put him above like Kevin Conroy or anything,
Oh
obviously.
God, no.
But I don't mind it. It doesn't take me out of the movie.
it's like when you know what it is? It's like it doesn't convey anything other than just like stoicness, like just one-notedness. And Batman, while very determined, reserved of emotion, like for sure, but it takes all the passion out of it, I think, like in a weird way for me. Like it's just so one note that it just rings false for me.
Okay,
Batman, despite himself, is an emotional dude. Like he is. That's
I agree.
Batman,
Yeah.
and the voice doesn't convey that in any way, so at all.
Okay,
So I don't like it.
that's fine. What about you, Barker? Before you say something you disliked, what do you think of Jason O'Mara as Batman?
I like him. I mean, you're right. Nobody can beat Kevin Conroy as the voice of Batman, and Will Arnett's kind of getting up there too. I mean,
Yeah, Will Arnett in the Batman movie.
but I mean, there have been other people that have voiced Batman that have done a worse job than O'Mara has. I feel like he does a great job with it.
That can't be the standard, though. Oh, you're better than the worst one. That's no. I want good.
I think he's top 3 for voice acting for Batman.
Okay, but if that's because the bottom 2 were fucking awful, that's not a good standard.
I mean, there's more than 2. I mean, there's been numerous people that have voiced Batman. I know for a fact coming up here soon in these other animated movies, we'll get to see some other ones that you can tell like they did a horrible casting on Batman. So O'Mara's not that bad. I think he's really good.
I kind of get what CJ's saying, but at the same time, I don't mind it because it's just a different portrayal of Batman, and I get that because it does sound like he is void of emotion when he really isn't, especially in this movie when he gets frustrated a lot with Damian. It is kind of a one-note thing because you really can't tell his voice from when he's frustrated to when he's not frustrated. But at the same time, it's like well, maybe this Batman is kind of monotone. So, but
that's not Batman. I mean, even if you would like it to be, he does get angry. That's part of it. Like,
Well, I get that, but I
he's an
mean,
angry guy.
O'Mara also does a great transition from the voice of Batman to the voice of Bruce Wayne. I think he does a really good job on that too.
actually, no, I don't think it's the same. I was just about to say that's a very sneaky talent that you need to have as a voice actor, particularly when you do a character like Batman, because he technically is two different characters, a Bruce Wayne and a Batman, and I could tell the difference.
Maybe I'm just I was already biased, but
That's fine.
I mean, to each their own, but you're wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
Parker, what's something you disliked?
Oh man, where to start this laundry list? I think the first thing I'm gonna say that I didn't like was Deathstroke. He's one of my favorite villains. Just reading him through the comics and seeing him like in other adaptations and everything like that. And this guy, for his name being Deathstroke the Terminator, he was a big pussy. Like, he ran away from the Ra's al Ghul fight, which you don't do. You could barely beat a fucking preteen. You barely fought Batman. Batman took you down with one punch. Like, and like he never was like that guy that wanted to fight and everything like that. And also, if we're gonna talk about voice acting, what was his name? Thomas Gibson.
Yeah.
The wrongest person to fucking voice Deathstroke. He sounded like a knockoff, like, yacht member. Like, he did not sound like what the epitome of evil was. I mean, just having that, I'm going to kill you. It didn't sound like Deathstroke. It was a horrible voice casting on that. Number two, the plot of the whole animal mutations never got really into it. Like, you never saw why Deathstroke was trying to do this. Like, it was just kind of like a one-off, and then we're just done with it.
No, they said why they were doing it. He took it over from Ra's al Ghul because Keith Langstrom, who is the original Man-Bat, they wanted to create the ultimate army, the ultimate warrior.
Yeah, but
actually,
they didn't really...
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I actually like that as like a nod to the very first episode of the animated series.
Yeah, same.
It was the Man-Bat. I thought that was kind of cool.
But
Man-Bats are fucking dope.
But they really didn't purvey that into the end, which I kind of got lost in that, and I didn't really like. I didn't really also like what was my third thing? Kind of how Commissioner Gordon really didn't help out Batman at all. I mean, kind of gave him Killer Croc, and you could tell like he never was really part of the movie. I know he really wasn't supposed to be a key member, but and then also kind of like the what was his name, Ubu?
Yeah.
How do you get beat by him when you have like Wolverine claws? I get you're a big guy and he's a little bit faster, but you're running away from a kid. Like, I don't know. The villains in this just did not seem like villains. They kind of seemed almost like
Damian Wayne.
Yeah, it's Damian. Like that's the reason why that.
Sorry.
No, go for it.
He's half Batman and half Talia al Ghul, who's no slouch herself. Like,
but this guy doesn't know that. I mean, at least try to like put up a more of a
Oh, he knows it.
he
knows
found the
it.
fuck out. He found out real fucking quick, didn't he?
Yeah, if you don't know, now you know. I don't know why they had to do it this way. All they had to do was when they had those glass cases with the costumes, they could have given a nod to Jason Todd and Tim Drake, but they rewrote this continuity to it where those two guys don't even exist. It's just Dick Grayson, and then after that, it immediately goes to Damian Wayne. And I know they're going off the New 52 continuity, but the New 52 continuity also has Jason Todd and Tim Drake. So I don't know. I feel like you don't have to add them to the movie. That's fine. Because, you can just make this a family matter between Dick, Damian, and Bruce, but you can at least give them a nod and put them in the universe. And that way you have those toys to play with later down the line.
I think I genuinely agree with you, but I disagree with you in one sense. Because it's not like they necessarily said they don't exist, right? Like they could, you just didn't make it that far. But I think if you add that, it adds a bunch of confusion to a movie that doesn't need it.
Yeah.
Or a bunch. It asks questions that this movie doesn't necessarily want to answer. I get what you're saying, and generally I agree, because like just even like a nod would be cool. But like if you put that through the perspective of Damien, he's gonna have a lot of questions. That gives now you got 10 more minutes of fucking exposition that you didn't want.
Yeah.
Like it just adds a lot to the movie, I think.
And I mean, I think it also goes to like people that really don't know deep into Batman. So if you're just kind of sort of new to Batman and everything that you see those, then you're asking the questions and everything that, and like CJ says, the movie really doesn't have time to put that much exposition into it.
And they never explicitly say like they don't exist, so they could in the future play with it. We'll still have to see, I think.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's see. Whitney says, I always took Batman as a guy in control of his emotions. And then he also said, I took this as an all-new continuity, which it is. It's its own thing. It's its own universe. But, just I would have liked a nod. Overall, what did you guys – let's see. Oh, I wrote a little note here that says that Batman needs to go to Maury because I've been watching a lot of Maury YouTube videos lately. And how are you just going to drop a kid on him like that? You don't know if it's yours. You know what I mean?
You are not the father.
Yeah.
You know who's Batman's. Yeah. Real quick though, you know what I would have liked better? If like Batman was talking about Robins to Alfred or something with Damien out of the room, and he's like, Tim or Jason would have never done something. That
and
cool.
then just Yeah.
Sorry, I was just thinking about that when you were talking about whatever you were talking about.
I agree with CJ on that. Like, yeah, do kind of a quick nod like that, but don't try to put it where it needs a little bit more explaining and everything, especially to like Damien.
Doesn't even though he's fully trained in the League of Assassins, that Batman is cool, just like taking a 10-year-old to go fight?
I mean, what else are you supposed to do with him?
I mean, that's kind of his jam. Like,
right? That is his thing. So, he takes
You're a little kid with no parents? Yeah, we're going to go fight crime.
Are you an orphan?
He's actually not, though, which is a strange change-up this time.
Yeah, he isn't. Yeah, you're right.
Hey, but neither was Stephanie Brown, technically. So, or not Stephanie Brown. The one in your favorite movie, where he's a Russian. Or he dresses up like a Russian old lady. What the fuck movie is that?
The Dark Knight Returns?
Yeah.
Carrie Kelly.
Carrie Kelly. Yeah, he was an orphan. Anyway, sorry.
Kind of. She had
shitty parents, so she might as well.
Yeah, she had like yuppie parents.
Yeah.
Might as well have been fucking an orphan.
All right. I actually most of the points I wrote on here were brought up organically. Jason O'Mara, the Batmobile, the continuity. I did also write Talia Hubba Hubba. I can see what Batman fell for her. Yeah, let's see. One last thing before we rate it. Rank the Robins real quick. I can give you mine. Mine is Jason Todd. It's in light of recent conversations we have had. It's then Tim Drake, Damien, and then Dick Grayson.
Wait, are you going least to greatest?
Greatest to least.
Greatest to least.
What about you?
Well, obviously I go Dick Grayson. I love Dick Grayson. You guys are being dicks. And then probably Damian Wayne, then probably Tim Drake, then probably Jason Todd.
I'm gonna go Jason Todd, Damian, Dick Grayson, and then Tim Drake.
And that's only the Robins up till now. Like there actually been way more Robins, but
shit ton more.
There's been Duke and then Carrie Kelly, who's personally my favorite Robin, to be honest with you. So
Carrie Kelly?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, she's pretty good. Duke is actually pretty badass himself.
Duke is pretty badass. I like Duke.
And then We Are Robin movement, obviously. But I would like to point something out real quick. You guys don't think Nightwing is on par with Batman, right?
No.
Nightwing was Batman for like a solid chunk of time.
Yeah.
So
and I knew that
he was a perfectly perfectly capable Batman.
He was an
So-
inferior Batman, yeah. So
Apparently not, because he was Batman when Batman wasn't. So, I mean, you say that.
You know, there's an episode of The Simpsons where Homer Simpson was Krusty Clown for a while, but wasn't Krusty Clown. So
yeah, I mean,
Not the
you can
same.
try to
you can put on the makeup and you can put on the makeup and the wig and the clown nose, but you ain't that, son.
he was, except he was though. So,
He was, but he wasn't as good.
Says who?
Everybody.
I didn't say I'm part of everyone. I didn't say that.
You're the 1%.
I'll be the 1%. That's fine.
You 1%er, son of a bitch.
I'm right. I'll be right. I'm right. Which is way more important to me than any other thing.
You know what? We're going to continue this argument about the superheroes later on a later show because I want to put this to an end. But Whitney says he was an inferior fake Batman and was called out for it. Batwoman called him out. So he's not even the best fighter in the Bat family.
Yeah, that's Bruce.
It's probably Batgirl. All right.
No, it's Bruce.
Bat dog.
But right after that's Dick Grayson. So
Let's see. So what's your overall rating on the movie?
I'm going to give it 2 titties. It's very good.
Barker?
I'm gonna give it the tit.
I'm giving it the titties. Yeah, 2 titties. And then Whitney says kitties titties. So you really liked it actually. So Whitney, while we're going down our list, rank them and I'll read out your list. So CJ, we'll start with you. How would you rank the 4 movies we've seen so far?
War, Son of Batman, Son of Atlantis, Flashpoint.
Barker?
War, Flashpoint, Son of Batman, Throne of Atlantis.
I will go War, Son of Batman, Flashpoint, Throne of Atlantis. Whitney is going poop.
I hope he is.
He says Flashpoint, War, Sun, Throne. Oh, he really liked Flashpoint then in War.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I guess we'll just jump into the main topic. And you guys can be honest with me. Did you guys read it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, cool. All right, we're going to have a good conversation, I think. So this is the second ever NWO Book Club, and I decided that I've actually never read it, and I've used this as an excuse to read it, and that is Crisis on Infinite Earths. Actually, I kind of stumbled upon doing it specifically around this time. It is the 35th year anniversary when it originally came out in April of 1985. So we're right around the time that people in 1985 were reading Crisis on Infinite Earths, so I think it's a good time to talk about it. It was a 12-issue miniseries, or maxi-series, and a miniseries. It is considered one of the most important comic events in the history of comic books. It originally came out, like I mentioned, April of 1985, and it ran all the way to March 1986. It was written by Marv Wolfman and drawn by George Perez, who also were famous for creating Nightwing and creating the Teen Titans, or at least the Teen Titans that we know of today. George Perez is actually also famous for not only for a million of other things, but he went on to write probably what people consider one of the other greatest comic book events of all time, and that is Infinity Gauntlet. So, and it actually had a famous catchphrase that crossed over to regular pop culture, and that was worlds will live, worlds will die, nothing will ever be the same again. And that transitions into the reason why they did a Crisis on Infinite Earths. So just a little bit of history before we get into the actual subject matter of the comic book series. DC, unlike Marvel, had a shit show of a continuity problem because Marvel basically, think of it the reverse of the movies where DC has all of their characters and Marvel kind of has to play with what they have. Well, DC kept buying up smaller comic book companies throughout the 50s, 60s, 70s, and even 80s. So what they decided to do then is create different universes and different worlds for different characters. So the original Golden Age superheroes were actually in Earth 2. So your original Flash, your original Green Lantern, your original Superman, your original Batman, those guys were in Earth 2. What we consider the more modern versions are those guys are considered in Earth 1. Shazam, Captain Marvel then came in later, and then the Plastic Man, the Justice League of Society of America was Earth 2. So it was a huge continuity kind of clusterfuck. So the reason they wrote Crisis on Infinite Earths was to condense everything down to one universe where only, I think, the 5 Earths survived. So that is the main precipice as to why Crisis on Infinite Earths made such a huge impact in the comic book world at the time, because they condensed all these multiverses into 5 Earths that all live within the same universe. And that way, the DC could kind of have like a fresh start, which had never been done before. Now, comic books tend to do that like once every year, which the impact isn't felt as much anymore. But for the time in 1985, the Crisis on Infinite Earths was like the biggest thing ever, and it definitely set in motion the idea of popular events. It wasn't the first comic book crossover event, but at the time it was the flagship comic book event and the one that set the example for everything else. And you can make the argument that probably more well-known events like Infinity Gauntlet and stuff like that don't happen because of or Crisis on Infinite Earths. So it was a way to bring in all the Earths and kind of do a more condensed and a more uniform universe. So CJ, you thought you were going to get just one of them, but you're going to get 2 of them now. What is there's a lot of things you could talk about this because it's a pretty dense reading, but what is the general synopsis of Crisis on Infinite Earths?
Okay. Let me just do that real fast. Jesus Christ. Well, there's a guy. He's real mad. He watches a bunch of people die a whole bunch of times. He doesn't like that. And that happens so many times, just so many times. There's another guy who doesn't like that either. And he tells this girl to go get some people. A guy stabs a mammoth. Another guy climbs a building. Superman violently pushes Wonder Woman or Wonder Girl. What else? Nightwing saves the day heroically. What else? I think probably they go to that guy's house. And he's like, hey, let's do this thing that we do. And then like do that. And it helps. Because that other one guy, he's all pissed. And he's like, hey, I don't like it when you do that. And so they go fight. And it's like a whole thing. But then there's like less.
All right, I'm gonna cut you off there, CJ.
Thank you, for the love of God. Why would you make me do that?
All right, Barker, do you want to fill in any holes real quick?
No.
All right, I'll do it. I wanted you guys to
okay.
do it so you guys can give my voice a break, but I'll do it. Basically, what it is there were 2 universes created: the antimatter universe and the matter universe at the very beginning of time, with the anti-monitor and the monitor kind of not ruling over it, but being born in separate universes. So the anti-monitor then gets the power to expand. He learns that the more universes he destroys, the stronger he gets. So after he was done destroying the antimatter universe, he wants to go over and destroy the matter universe. So all of the heroes from all these different universes now have to come to terms that they are not. A lot of them find out that they are not only not the only universe, but the universe is dying. So as they're dying off, the Anti-Monitor gets stronger. All the heroes from Earth 1, 2, and 4 combine powers to destroy or try to destroy the Anti-Monitor, and basically that is how they're combining all these hundreds and hundreds and thousands of universes into one. Correct?
Yeah. Okay, I was like mostly joking, right? Well, okay, not really. But also, it's one of the most goddamn convoluted things in the history of things.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Like,
Okay,
it's
so
fucking dense, dude. Like,
yeah. So we'll start there. Actually, to do our first official, because the other one we called it a book club, but we just watched the animated movie, which is fine. This is our first actual book club, so I think I picked the wrong one because this is super dense.
Jesus Christ.
And not only that, but you need to know a lot of the backstory behind it to kind of get it. I don't know if you guys knew that whole DC thing that they were going through in the 80s when they wrote Crisis on Infinite Earths. But going into it and then finishing it, what are your overall thoughts on Crisis on Infinite Earths?
Well, my first thought is I never need to do that again, ever. And like, it's a good story, right? Like, I like it. Like, I like the story. I like the things that happen. But it's so goddamn much that, like, halfway through, I'm pissed. Like, I'm just like, fuck this book. I hate it. Like, I don't know. Not that I hated it. I don't hate it. But it's fucking confusing. And I did not have the proper context. Like, that was written for that time for comic book super nerds, one of which I am not.
That is something I definitely got reading this. And we'll talk about the writing style and stuff later. I got notes on that. But it is very, like, when you think of, like, your Return of the Nerds from the 1980s, like, this is their Bible, you know what I mean? Like, well, in Crisis Infinite Earths, you know, in book 7, the Flash did this, and, you know, that is what I think about it of Crisis on Infinite Earths now that I read it, is your stereotypical 80s comic book nerd that you see in every 80s movie that they always reference, and this is their Bible. Like, that's exactly what I got after reading this. Which is why now I understand why nerds in the 80s were getting beat up for reading comic books.
Yeah, I wanted to beat someone's ass.
All right, Barker, what'd you think?
I'm gonna kind of go a little deeper. What CJ said. Next time we do a book club like this, we need to probably plan ahead of time, because reading all 12 in the span of a week was not the greatest of ideas. I mean, I got what was going on, but I didn't really grasp what was actually going on. My initial thoughts of reading it and everything, the first 2 books were really confusing. I really thought I was reading the wrong thing. And then you kind of slowly transition into what's actually going on, where, you know, time is getting displaced onto these universes, past, present, and future. And then we start getting more into the Harbinger kind of bringing these people together, kind of a big team up of superheroes to defeat this evil presence and everything. It just takes it literally seems like it took every DC hero, like, they scrounged for people. There's like Dollman and like Mega Fridge, and like they were like bottom of the barrel, like, DC heroes to defeat this like evil being and everything that.
Actually, we'll get to more specific things about all this stuff, but I really like that, actually. Obviously, I think in any kind of like multi-universal, galactical, whatever, that's not a word, stories, you have to use Superman and stuff like that. But I'm glad that they didn't go to the usual, like, Batman and Green. You know, the Green Lanterns play a part, but it's not Hal Jordan or even John Stewart. It's like lesser known. Which is cool, but at the same time, for somebody like I pushed you guys into the deep end of the pool, and I made you guys read this like huge dense ass thing. It can get a little confusing, but really the main characters then from there are the sticking points. So like Superman, Flash, Supergirl, like stuff like that. So, but I do enjoy reading about Uncle Sam from, you know, Earth X or whatever. Like, that's pretty cool.
I love the fact too that they in 1985, like every superhero had that kind of catchphrase. Like I can't, not off the top of my head, but you know, it was just like Jesus and Jiminy Christmas Batman, you know, like everybody
Yeah.
like I love that. Like, you know, now people be like, oh, that's just cheesy as hell. In 85, they're like, man, that's actually really funny. That's really cool and everything. Like literally everybody said at least one time that, you know, kind of like a Robin Sal kind of exclamation.
Well, let's talk about. Well, actually, before we get there, Whitney says, "I'm so fucking confused right now. Glad I didn't start here. I don't know shit about on DC. Part of the reason they picked the peons was because they could kill them. Yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, but let's talk about that in general. Then, I think, and I would like to hear you guys' thoughts on this. This is very. No matter what you think of the story, like I think it's a good story, but the way it's written and the dialogue and stuff, it's very of its time. And Barker brought it up. It's like, it's very superhero-y talk. Like, this is a job for, you know, Supergirl or whatever. And it's very what people today probably that don't read comics think of comics. But if you were to pick up a comic today, it's not as, it's more subtle than like, I'm using my heat rays and he's not going down. So it's like the dialogue's a little dated and stuff. And
Yeah, like,
what you guys think of that?
In that one book where the building's falling in, they're just like, oh my God, Nightwing, that building's falling. It's like,
yeah.
I guess we didn't just see the previous panel where we saw the building falling, you know.
Yeah, it's I actually have a panel here that I copied and pasted from one of the issues that I actually don't have. It says, well, I use my gravity powers to keep him rooted on Earth.
Yeah.
Let's see how good you are, hero. I'll use my magnetic powers to stretch the shadow demon. So it's like, it's very like a lot of exposition. They would rather show you that they're using their magnetic powers rather than like artistically show you. But yeah, the dialogue is very dated and stuff. The idea is very novel. Yeah. But like I said, the concept of it is high concept storytelling. It's just a dialogue and how they use the characters to transition from scene to scene is definitely a little dated. What do you think, CJ?
I actually friggin' hate that. And it's probably the main reason I only read newer comics. I'm actually starting an endeavor that I don't want to get into yet. But I only read New 52 and Rebirth as far as DC Comics goes. And that's precisely the reason why. I can't stand that stuff. Like, oh no, Batgirl, you're punching me in the face. I fucking hate that. And I'd rather...
Don't read. Go for it.
Sorry, go ahead.
My bad. No. All I was gonna say is don't read anything past like 1992. Then.
Yeah, I won't.
That's a lot of that is, yeah.
I won't unless my contract forces me to. Which is the only reason I read Crisis.
We're gonna have to redo your contract.
Please, for the love of God. Yeah, I stick to newer comics specifically for that reason, honestly. And just the art style, like the newer ones are better. Sorry. However, having said that, you're absolutely right. High concept, it is. It's a cool concept. I actually like the Anti-Monitor. Yeah, he's like, and the concept of like how they became, to be and everything. That's pretty cool. But it took for fucking ever to get there, and it's just so much of that exposition, just bullshit like that it felt like I had to slog through it to get to anywhere that I wanted to go.
Yeah, I agree. Honestly, they probably could have shrunk this by 2, if not 3 issues for sure. And I think that's what modern comics do a better job of. It's a more concise story.
Well, they know we have shorter attention spans. Like it's either this or like they know we're picking between like, Xbox, and they got to get to the fucking point. Like they can't fuck around like this one did, in 1985, you got this or cartoons on Saturday mornings for like 3 hours.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
and
you're right.
it's like you said, Abel. It's just like, why read 12 books when I could just watch the animated movie? You know, kind of
Yeah,
like you did
exactly.
with the system.
Yeah.
Like, so you got to keep the attention. You can't just kind of drag us along like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's just what 1985 was. So.
Yeah. What'd you guys think of the
much.
art?
It makes me grateful that we have newer comics privy to that. I think.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Well, and then, to be kind of fair to this, it is of its time. And just in the next couple of years, you get game-changing comics like The Dark Knight Returns and Watchmen, where it's not like that at all. Like they're writing it more. They're writing it more of a novel with pictures, right?
Yeah.
Where here it's stories with pictures. Where the other one, it's it is more high concept. It's for higher, it's for adults and stuff like that, adult theme, but it's just a different way of storytelling. And Frank Miller and Alan Moore were able to do that in Watchmen and Dark Knight Returns. But it's just dated writing. And but yeah, it is difficult to get through sometimes.
Yeah, I would have much rather just watched the movie, to be honest. Of which there is one, by the way.
Kind of.
Crisis on Two Earths, isn't that the same thing?
It kind of is, except they don't deal with the anti-monitor stuff, and they only deal with Earth 3, which is the crime syndicate world, and Earth 1. Those are the only two.
I will say, even setting like the datedness of it aside, it doesn't even do a good job of explaining exactly what's happening, even accounting for that. What I mean is, like, there was never a clear, concise... I never had a clear, concise idea of exactly what was happening while it was happening. Until, like, the end, where it got kind of more streamlined. But I never got a real sense of the danger that they were actually in, like the stakes. Like, okay, like everything was going to be washed out of existence, but that happened 1,000 times over. And then in one panel, Earth 1 is being, or what I thought Earth 1 was being, like, destroyed in the same manner. And then the next thing I know, oh, never mind. They're doing it again to some other random Earth. And it never felt like I had a grasp of what was actually happening. And it was just really, what's the word? Like, I don't know. Like, it's just really messy, it felt like to me. Even accounting for the datedness, because it never gives you a clear answer to anything. Well, like I said, until the end, where it kind of does more explaining. But I don't know. Did you guys get that at all?
I didn't push back, or I didn't have pushback as much as you did, because I kind of had a little prior knowledge going into it about what it was about. So that's kind of stuff that I was looking for, particularly because if you're going to want to get the truest so far, I should say thus far, adaptation to this is Crisis on Infinite Earths, the one they did on the CW. So when you watch that, you kind of get the general concept about what's going on. But if I went in super cold into it, like you guys did, then I can completely understand kind of where I'm, being lost and how they're writing it and stuff like that. Yeah. But like I said, because I just had not reading Crisis on Infinite Earths before, I did have the knowledge of it, and I watched the CW shows that did a pretty decent job, actually, for it being TV, of the general idea of it.
It wasn't that I didn't grasp the concepts. Of course I did. Mm-hmm. The problem I had was knowing exactly what was happening when, because it made it seem like Earth 1 and 2 were in, immediate peril that they weren't after you're reading a few more panels. Like, just the way they felt really sloppy in that way. Like, I didn't really know what worlds. They didn't do a good job of explaining exactly what the danger was, I think. or illustrating that either, really. But
I gotcha. Okay, no, yeah, that's for sure. Would you know? What about you, Barker? Did you have anything that you kind of lost a thread on?
Yeah, I kind of agree with CJ. I mean, just kind of bouncing from Earth to Earth. After a while, you kind of got a little lost, and you kind of didn't know like what the stakes were actually. You know, kind of on which specific Earth and everything like that. I think they did the best job they could with what they did. I mean, I think it's kind of hard to kind of not at the same time kind of synchronize like the perils of each universe. Obviously, you can't do that. You can, but I mean, it doesn't give you that much of a content behind it and everything like that. So, but yeah, I'm with CJ. It kind of got a little convoluted after a while.
What do you guys think of the art?
yeah, it's not for me, dude. Like, it's nothing. It's just I understand it's just the time period it's in. But again, that's why I don't go back and read old comics. It's like I just bought an excuse me. I just bought an 8K TV, and now you tell me the only thing I have is one of those old black and white wooden boxes with a screen in it. Like, I can't do it, dude. I'm sorry. Like, it's just like, not for me.
You know, I understand, and I've even when I was a kid and the few comics I had growing up, I always had pushback on the art because we're so used to just everything being so
Now we have
level. Yeah,
well,
it's
now
crazy.
we have just incredible art in comics. Like, even just like a random comic, you go pick it out, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
Like, there's such a high standard now.
Yeah, but of its time, like all that is pencil drawn. It's all hand colored.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's the detail on it on some of those panels are amazing. Some of those splash pages, which is the one panel over 2 pages, some of those are incredibly detailed and incredibly colored. So again, I'm looking at this comic through the lenses of if I lived in the 80s and stuff like that. So I think the art for the time is fantastic. I really enjoyed it. But again, reading your run of the mill comic nowadays, it's the art. A lot of the art is really good.
But I agree with you. I liked what did you call them? The flash pages.
Oh, splash.
Yeah, those fight scenes in there, that was really like the art behind it was amazing. And then like when you got to the Anti-Monitor, like at the end of the books and everything, that like how his design was and like his new body, like that took some time and effort. And I thought that was really awesome that what they did kind of at the end. The beginning kind of books, kind of like you said, were really kind of low grade and everything like that. But you could tell like when they needed to put the art behind it, they did.
Yeah. Whitney says the printers of the time is what really degraded the art. The printers limited the details they could use. Yeah, you could see that. You lose the detail in the color, I would say. And that makes sense that the printers, fucked up a lot. So let's see.
As far as just like degree of difficulty, yeah, it's pretty impressive still.
Let's see. What did you guys think of the characters of the Monitor and Anti-Monitor?
I actually liked them. The origin's pretty badass once you get into it.
Yeah.
I think the motivation is cool, and his story of like he actually rose to power, like he like by earning it. Like he fought his way. Kind of reminds me of kind of like Bane a little bit, like in that he struggled to get the power that he had. Like it wasn't like given to him, or he didn't just like it wasn't just he didn't just possess it and just he wasn't just overbearing to everything. He actually had to work for what he had.
I agree.
They kind of give you that sense, like he fought battles over centuries or whatever. I thought that was kind of cool, actually. And it was just he kept rising to the top. He wanted everything eventually. And I felt really organic, actually. Pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I like that. And actually, this is the very first appearance of the Anti-Monitor. The Monitor had his appearance in like 1982 because actually this was the first comic book cross. You get it all the time now where they build up to it with a few issues here in Black Panther and then a couple of issues here in Captain Marvel. Well, Crisis on Infinite Earths was the first crossover event to do that. Where it's like, okay, we're gonna have a couple issues on the Flash, a couple issues here, there, and the Crisis on Infinite Earths was 3 or 4 years in the making. So the Monitor actually made his first appearance in like 1982, and the sole purpose of his character in the first 4 years was to scout the DC universe for the best heroes to help him fight against the Anti-Monitor. So yeah, I like the idea of where there's a yin, there's a yang, kind of, you know, there's a good universe, there's a bad universe, and you have to have, you know, these forces going at each other. And I really dug that. What about you, Barker?
I liked it too. And that too, like how they kind of it came from. It's kind of like a how do I put this? Like almost like a circle of life, and that, you know, it starts out with the Owens with the Green Lantern Corps and everything like that. How they figure out how to make the Monitor and the Anti-Monitor, and then you figure out that at the end, the way that the Anti-Monitor was winning was the reason why it started. So just kind of like, I guess not really like a chain reaction, but kind of like it came full circle, which was really cool. Like I didn't expect that at the end.
And I really do enjoy that it started. All this happened because of something that happened like tens of billions of years ago. Like that idea alone is cool.
Yeah, and
Like,
that builds the importance and the massiveness of what's
right.
really at stake, I think. Yeah.
It's really this giant, and they did a good job of that in scope, like of making it. This is all the marbles. Like, they did a good job of that, certainly. And it just felt like this massive, grand, like final battle type thing. Like, this is for everything. Like, they did a really good job of that, actually, and I really like that.
Yeah,
Like,
I
this
agree.
this is the most important battle of the universe, right?
Yeah.
Like,
And
that's cool.
it's basically when the universe started, so it's like,
Right.
It's kind of weird how that is. Like, it's the biggest battle of all time, but it's the first battle of all time, technically.
Which makes it, which is part of what makes it the biggest, which is really cool, actually. Yeah. I think.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see here. Crisis on Infinite Earths, other than being important for all the reasons I've mentioned in kind of the backstory there, also has two of the most memorable and what's the word I'm looking for? Memorable and cataclysmic, I guess I should say, comic book deaths in comic book history. Because although comic book deaths never last, these two deaths in particular lasted a while. And that is the death of the Flash in issue 7, and the death, in issue 8, excuse me, and the death of Supergirl in issue 7. Flash actually didn't come back to the DC universe until 1993. So he was dead a good 7-8 years, and for a major comic book character, that's quite a bit. When Superman died, he was back within 6 months or whatever, you know. And then Supergirl actually wasn't back in continuity until 2004. So these two specific deaths are well known, and they're very, very important to comic book history. So I just want to ask you guys: Did you guys know going in that that's going to happen? And if you didn't, what's kind of what when you guys were reading it, like, what'd you guys think?
I kind of knew of the Flash one from Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice. I read that they kind of took one of the parts from the movie from that comic and everything, when the Flash goes back in time to kind of warn them and everything. That the Supergirl one was out of nowhere. I didn't think she would die. I thought like she would, at least I thought Superman was going to die in that one. But I mean, obviously with the cover, how Superman has her like in his arms, we kind of expected that. But coming in, I didn't think that was going to happen. So, but the Flash one, I had kind of an inkling that it was probably basically going to happen.
I did not expect either of them. I didn't know anything about either one. The problem with that is it made me really hate the cover because it's like, dude, you spoiled it. Like,
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. When I was because I knew going in that that's what happens, but you know, seeing the cover, and it's actually one of the most iconic covers of all time. I'm sure if you Google, you know, best or most recognizable covers of all time, this cover, the cover with Supergirl, will be on every single one of those lists. So it's very recognizable.
so I went and downloaded all the comics to like my device, right? From the DC app, you can do that for offline, whatever. As I was going through, I was seeing all the covers, and it really felt like I was spoiling it for myself. Like, honestly, like I mean, they're written in such a way that it's like you need to read the books before you see the next cover.
Yeah.
Like, and that's annoying now, but it's written for that time, right? Like, but you know, first modern day age problem, obviously 21st century problem, but it's annoying.
Yeah. If they would have took like the covers and put them onto the next issue, just so it wouldn't spoil it so much, I think that would have been a good idea.
Or just update the covers. Just, I don't know, like maybe leave it in the first. I don't know. Regardless, don't look ahead if you're doing one of these things because it'll get you. But yeah, I felt like when I came across the Superman one, I was like, okay, I guess I know she dies now. Cool.
Right.
Nice. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Abel.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, what about the Flash then, CJ?
I mean, it shocked me, but he kind of dies in the first, like you see it. Oh, I did like that. How it was kind of a callback. Like he sees all the images, like while he's dying, right? Like he sees all the interactions he had over the course of having those. Like it was kind of cool. Like he sees where he was talking with Batman, and I'm assuming he was talking to Wally West in that 350 Flash episode or comic. I thought that was kind of cool, but I wasn't really surprised by the time that happened because it already happened, right? Like we saw it, we saw it happen when Batman and Superman were watching. But it did kind of make it more final. Yeah, it's a little shocking. But really, by that point, I was kind of expecting it, just because of the Superman and Batman panel where they saw it. But it's crazy when you say he was dead for that long, because I would not have ever guessed that.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah, he was gone for a while. During those 7-8 years, Wally West was the Flash. So yeah, he was gone for a while. So it was a pretty everlasting, not everlasting, but a pretty long lasting death. And
well, in terms of comics, it is everlasting.
Yeah, you're right.
And also too, like when he is dying, it's really gruesome. Like how like you kind of seen like his skin deteriorate. Like that was kind of morbid.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and TJ brought it up already, but I really did enjoy. I even did an audible like whenever he is spinning to destroy the machine, and we get to see where he confronted the Joker and talked to Batman or whatever. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right, that happened like 3-4 issues ago. So yeah, I mean, if Flash has to go out, I feel like that is the way he would go. In going back through time and stuff and just running himself to literally nothing. So yeah, I enjoyed his the way they killed him off if they had to. Cool. Alrighty, so what I guess moving
oh sorry, just
no,
on that, okay. The only other relation point I have to that is Donatello died in the comics, in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comics.
Uh-huh.
I don't think he's back yet. That was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Really? Are they down to 3 or what?
I believe so. I'm looking now. I mean, hopefully, I'm not spoiling anything for anyone listening. But I believe Donatello has been dead for 3 years. I think, which is just the only. I was just looking for a reference point, but that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, you're good. Any input is good input. So reading this and coming out of it, what do you think then is the lasting, not because it's been written about a million times, the lasting impact that's had on comic books in general or whatever, and I don't want to do that. What I want to do is the everlasting impact it's going to have on you guys, whether good or bad. Whether it's CJ, you don't want to read an old comic ever again, or it's like, hey, now I kind of understand whatever you took away from this comic. What is that?
It made me wary of old comics. I know that's shitty to say because there's probably a ton of great stories, but when it comes down to it, when it's stories such as that, I'll just watch the fucking movie. Like, I'm just gonna watch the movie. I'll read Tom King and watch the movie of the old one. Sorry, I know that's shitty. Like, that's a shitty nerd thing to say, right? But sorry.
Barker?
I think with this one, I think the impact with me is that it kind of showed me more of the B and C list characters that were out there. I think it kind of put more of a spotlight on like the Teen Titans, the Outsiders, the Freedom, like the Freedom Gang, with like
Freedom Fighters, yeah.
Freedom Fighters,
Gang.
Doom Patrol. I think it kind of put a spotlight on that, where that they kind of got a little bit more attention in their comic book series. And I think kind of like what you said, I think they upped their game on the art department, because then a couple of years later with the Dark Knight Returns and a couple of those other ones, you get a lot more content. You get a lot less of the exposition. We're not being spoon fed it. Like you kind of have to just take it off of face value and everything. So I think that's what kind of impacted me on that, is that it like CJ said, it's from 1985, but you got to start somewhere, and I think that's what happened with this. And I think to this day, it's probably still one of the greatest crossovers team ups of all time. So we're still talking about it no matter what.
What I'm getting out of this is the just because I like reading events and stuff in Marvel and stuff like that, and I have always heard of Crisis on Infinite Earths, and anytime you read a list, which I'm going to read a couple here in a second, of greatest comic book events or greatest storylines of all time, they always mention Crisis, and I'm glad I read it. And just getting out of it is it's the evolution of comic book events, and kind of like this is the cornerstone of what everything came after that, whether it's like we talked about Infinity Gauntlet, or Civil War, or anything like that down the line. It's and this is kind of the genesis of that. So just anytime I read anything from that now, it's going to be referenced to this. So that's kind of what I'm taking from it. So ultimately what came out of Crisis on Infinite Earths was that they condensed all these universes into 5 Earths. Earth 1, 2, 4, S, and 10 survived. They actually made 2 sequels to this, 2005 Infinite Crisis and 2008 Final Crisis, which they call it the Crisis Trilogy, and they kind of wrap up the story. And Darkseid, who played a part at the end of it to help the heroes, plays a bigger part in the last one. So, and also, like I mentioned earlier, if you guys want something close to it that is a live action adaptation, that is Crisis on Infinite Earths, and the CW did that with Arrow, Supergirl, Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, and all those characters. So I will say I have not seen the last episode of that. I've only seen the first 5, so I do have to catch up with that. So overall, then taking everything into account, the art, what you think about it, the old comics, all that stuff. What is your final rating of Crisis on Infinite Earths?
Well, just in regards to what you were talking about, I think I'm gonna handle it the same way I handle most things like that are super influential. Like you got the Beatles, right? Rolling Stones, whatever, and you got the old like movies that I know Abel you love, like Frankenstein.
Yeah.
The old ones. Like thanks, but I'm gonna go enjoy what you influenced and not spend much time.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Like that's just how I do it. Sorry. Anyway, taking every single thing into account, because it is grand, right? It's like it did. Like even if I found it to be a tough read, it influenced a ton of things, and it served the greater good, right? It brought all these wonderful characters to the same thing, to the same place. I certainly have an appreciation for that, and that's a great reason of why I'm giving it titties.
Okay.
It's just it's not for me, but I certainly have a lot of appreciation for the things that it did.
For sure. All right, Barker, what about you?
I think to me this was the 2012 Avengers movie, like for 1985 comics. Like, you know, just that final kind of build up and just to see all these characters fighting for, you know, the greater good against, you know, this overpowering, you know, evil villain. You get like I said, you get everybody, and I think that's awesome when you get to do something like that. You don't just focus on just the Justice League, you know. You need more help than that. Art selling, like I said, it's from 1985, but I think they still did a great job for what they had. Overall, I'm gonna give it titties too. I'm gonna put it high titties, low kitties titties. So, but still titties. But yeah, I thought it was a great comic issue or a great series. So.
Yeah, no, I liked a lot of it more than I didn't, and with all I've said from it not aging great and all that stuff, I still think it's high concept storytelling. I think it's what they did by bringing all the universes, which was undone later, but that's neither here nor there. Was such a revolutionary idea at the time, and really like through all the dense reading and trying to get through all the characters that you don't know and stuff like that, I still really enjoyed it. It wasn't. At some parts it was a slog, but once you kind of hit the death of Supergirl and the death of Flash, to me it just kind of like falls into place and it hits a better stride towards the end. And I like the fact that they time travel and all that stuff, and a lot of those elements are still used today. Like, I'm not saying that Avengers Endgame used that, but obviously like it's been a story element that's being used now. You know, in order to beat the big bad guy, you can't beat him now. You have to beat him at the very beginning of time, or 40 years from now or 40 years ago. So I enjoy that. So yeah, I am giving this high titties. You know what? Executive decision. I'm gonna give these kitties titties, even though some of the writing is dated. I still really enjoy Crisis on Infinite Earths. So yeah, thank you guys for listening to our NWO book club. And first of all, I want to thank the guys. I kind of did this last notice, and they powered through and they read it. And thanks, guys. And second is I forgot what I was going to say. So, and second, I'll give you guys some more time to read a book if I decide I want to do something like this again. So I appreciate it. Do you guys have any last thoughts on Crisis on Infinite Earths?
Yeah, did it annoy you guys that it ended like 6 times?
Dude, the anti-modern would not fucking die. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
Not really.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah, it's funny. It didn't bother me as much, but I see what you're saying.
I hated how Beast Boy's name was Changeling. It just it really irked me. I don't know. Maybe that was just me.
No, I just thought that was funny. Like he'd be dead for like 30 minutes, and then all of a sudden he's like back, like it's just funny. Like he did that like literally like 6 times.
What movie is it where he keeps dying and coming back? He's like, oh, Deadpool 2. It's like, no,
Deadpool
I see
2,
the light.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was literally like that.
Or Club Dread. You know
Oh
that?
yeah, Club Dread. I haven't seen that movie forever.
He's like basically like cut in half, and he's still like trying to kill people.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, next week we're getting the fuck out of here now. Next week's show, I promise, will be a lot easier. I actually already have it. Since we're kind of in the middle of our own apocalypse, we are each going to pick our top 5 apocalyptic movies of all time and rank them. How does that sound? Yeah. Okay.
I like it.
Not everybody gets too excited. And
so we can be pretty loose with the definition, I hope.
Yeah, pretty loose. Zombies, this is the end, movies like that. So
cool.
Yeah. And we're also going to talk about the next installment of the DC animated movie universe, which is Batman versus Robin. So you guys make sure to watch that. What are you guys' recommendations that you're reading, watching, listening to that you want to tell our student athletes about?
That's fantastic. So, well, I don't necessarily want to give. Okay, you know what? I'll just do it. There is actually Dustin, go first. I gotta find it.
Okay, mine's gonna be kind of what I've been. I do it off and on every week, but Harley Quinn. If you haven't watched it, please go watch this. This show is hilarious. And this last episode, they went super meta. And they
they did.
So many people. I loved it. And for the people that are just like, oh, it's just another girl show, they make fun of you guys for saying that it's just a girl show.
Did you notice one guy was wearing Release the Snyder Cut and the other guy was wearing The Last Jedi's not canon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought that was hilarious. It's like, oh, this is just a girls show and everything. It's like, well, this episode's about Batman. So, we're going to watch it then. Like, fuck you. And then, it talks about a lot about Batman. But also, Alfred Pennyworth, nobody realizes this. He's a badass. Like, he's not just a butler. Like, look into his backstory. That guy was the Batman at his time. So please watch Harley Quinn. Please.
Well, didn't they make a show for him?
Yeah,
it's called Pennyworth. Yeah.
Pennyworth, yeah. Because he's.
I haven't seen it yet. I got to figure out where it's on and everything. But
my understanding, he basically was James Bond. It's basically the gist of it.
I mean, he is. He's a super badass.
Whitney, do you have anything that you're reading, watching, listening to?
Yeah, I got 2 things. Well, first, I also have to call out Fox News. Donatello is alive.
Damn, CJ.
He never actually died. He got in.
Cockbag.
His soul was put into Metalhead, which is his robot, for 6 episodes, and then when that exploded, his soul went back to his regular.
Okay, Whitney recommends TMNT.
Now also What We Do in Shadows. If you haven't watched that, do it. And next week's episode, Mark Hamill is a guest appearance as a vampire, and I cannot wait.
Nice, yeah. Anything with Taika Waititi and those guys from Flight of the Conchords and stuff, I really dig. So I need to watch that. I haven't even seen the movie for that one yet.
Yeah, the movie for that. Well, you don't need to watch the movie. They don't at all have anything to do with each other, other than the fact that these guys made an indie film, and then somebody bought the rights to it, and they made a shit ton of money. But
nice.
I do recommend it. But the movie is fucking fantastic. But the show is fine in and of itself.
Can we all also agree that Mark Hamill can do no wrong?
No, yeah, exactly. They just leaked him in his costume, and it's full like Dracula, like esque, and I can't wait to fucking see it. Do you guys know the premise of that?
Isn't it like vampires living in with regular people?
It's vampires that are being followed by a reality TV crew.
Oh,
and it's fucking hilarious.
That sounds fun.
And periodically they like break the fourth wall and like the TV crew's like running from something and you just see people like scattering.
That's funny. Bark or CJ, what do you have?
Okay. So I'm gonna be taking on a pretty massive undertaking. I'm gonna read every issue of the New 52.
Oh.
and it's like 3,000 and some odd comics.
Good luck to you,
Like,
sir.
I don't remember the exact number. But helping me do that is a guy on YouTube.
Meth?
The channel is Thomas Judge. He made. I've been looking for a really long time. I wanted to do this for a while, and I've been looking for a really long time for like a reading guide, because I'm the kind of person who wants to read like the whole impetus of this is I tried to read Nightwing. I've been trying to read Nightwing story for months now, and you need a lot of context. Like, I don't want to give any spoilers away from people who do want to see it, but something happens, and they reference it all the time, and I'm just lost as fuck.
You want to understand those little yellow like boxes that they put with the asterisks.
I want to understand all of it. And so he compiled a comprehensive reading list for the entire New 52.
Nice.
And it's pretty much the only one on the internet, as far as I can tell.
Holy shit. And I remember you telling me a couple of years ago that that's exactly what you wanted to do. So now that you have it, that's quite the undertaking.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be worth it because I love Rebirth. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun to get to see some things that put some understanding on things that maybe I didn't necessarily know before. And it's going to take a long time, obviously. But, a couple comics a night.
We got 18 months of quarantine.
Over the course of like 7 years, yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun, but that's my recommendation. My recommendation is to go watch that, follow Thomas Judge and watch that comprehensive list. And it's videos. He makes a bunch of videos. And he's got like a huge map that starts in the center with flashpoint and it expands outward. And it's really cool.
You should send that to me.
So he has not just like a linear thing. It's more like a grid.
Yeah, I'll send it
almost
to you.
like a Final Fantasy. What is that? Final Fantasy 10 like skill chart where it like just balloons out.
I've never played Final Fantasy.
That's my recommendation.
Nice.
I have two recommendations. First one is they're both pretty quick. First one, Rick and Morty came back on Sunday. Watching that. I'm watching that tonight. I've completely forgot on Sunday because I was so busy with a bunch of other stuff. But I'm watching that today. I have it saved on my Hulu. Second one is it's not as big of an undertaking as CJ's because it's not. But I've seen the Clone Wars before, and I know they just released and they just finished the last season. But I don't want to go in and just watch the last season without having context or whatever. So I started this on Saturday. I'm watching at least one episode a night, going through all 7 seasons until I get to the newest season that ended just a couple days ago. So that's what I'm doing. I'm watching the Clone Wars. So if you guys want to do that, it's a fantastic series. It gives more character to Anakin Skywalker, and it gives episode 2 it makes it a little bit better. Not great still, but it makes it better. And I love the Clone Wars, and it's a good time. All right, if you guys have any suggestions or comments, let us know on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. You can find us personally on Facebook or on Twitter.
I'm at CJMFA.
At Barker375.
I'm at ZELBUBUTH. Zerababuth on Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, whatever the fuck it is. That's me.
I'm at Saint_Able45 on Twitter. You can find the show specifically on Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, Libsyn, Stitcher, anywhere that you get your podcasts. I am doing a little bit better job of doing stuff on YouTube. I am posting the some shows and stuff like that, some backdated shows on YouTube, so make sure to go check them out on there. I released an NWO playlist of all of our opening songs up to this point. Check in the show notes for different links for our news topics and stuff like that. If you want to do a one-time donation, go to nerdworldorder2@gmail.com. That way you can donate on PayPal. We would really appreciate it. Donate $10 a month on Patreon. We'll get you a shirt. And I keep saying this, and I promise I will. I've just been so busy, but we will update the Patreon to make it worth your guys as well. So with that being said, is there anything else for this week, guys?
We out.
No.
All right. Don't forget, student athletes, obey the NWO. Bye.
Obey.